Indeed, greetings unto you, my beloved and holy friends. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for joining me on another video. If you like what it is I'm doing, consider liking the video, consider subscribing, and do leave a comment. I try and answer every single one of them. Let's go live. Whew! I had quite a day today. It was a beautiful one, nonetheless. I feel like I've accelerated once again, my learning process. I was ready today to learn something about myself and about the life that I've chosen for myself to live. And it was very hard, I want to say. It was I think one of the hardest things that I had to do in a long time. But I do feel it was very beneficial, it was very necessary, and it was supposed to happen as well at the end of the day. Hey Gerber, your first friend, look at that. Hello to you, I hope you're well. I hope work went well, and thank you for joining me. Hello Naomi, thank you for joining me as well, and hello Lane. The crew's all here. Yo, yo, yo. Hello to you as well, friend. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to be crushing up some bud, rolling myself a jiggy, and then just having some chats. Melting away the negativity. I almost said positivity. Melting away the negativity. I don't feel like I've been negative today, but I've experienced subjectively negative emotions. Had a good bout of crying. I'll get into why it is I'm a little bit emotional today a little bit later. Just wanna get my joint rolled before I do. Is that how you crush your herb? Yes. Yes, I crush it with a mortar and pestle, friend. It works. It really does work. I also did the after work stream. You did? How did it go, Gerber? I hope it went well. I hope you got some viewers, got some community members to join you. Are you Alan Holmes? No. No, I'm not, friend. I'm Meltmore, in fact. It is a little bit of a hotter day today. It was raining still this morning. I danced a little bit and it started clearing up. And now we're left with just a beautiful day. Kind of cloudy, but not too much. Can still see some blue strips of sky. It is a beautiful day, actually. It's a very, very beautiful day. Get one active chatter, but it was good conversation about lasagnas. An active chatter is really nice, friend, because then you kind of feel like you're doing something with someone, right? That's exactly why I love every single one of you friends, because I feel like we're just friends, right? Hanging out, having a little bit of a relaxation session to take away from all of the rustle and bustle from the city life, the working life, the studying life, whatever it may be, whatever situation you find yourself in. It's good to take some time and have this every now and then. Man, I'm thinking about getting one of those to grind. You want to get yourself a mortar and pestle as well, Helene? It is nice. I feel it kind of like brings me back to the way that it was probably done back in the day. Because I can guarantee you they didn't have fancy steel grinders back in the day. But they probably did have mortars and pestles before they had fancy steel grinders. So arguably this was one of the tools used to do it before the grinder was a thing. So maybe I'm just, you know, taking it back to my roots. Seeing what it feels like to be a little bit more primitive. Like the thing is, I have a grinder. But I just, like the thing is as well, when I don't know what you call it. When you stuff it, when you kind of hop it on its bottom so that gravity kind of compacts your butt for you. When I do that, I like using the little pestle. It's a little bit of a dual function. I too have been holding out until 4:20 each day. You have? How has it been treating you, friend? I hope it's been treating you well. It's treated me very well. I feel like ever since I have some debris in my glass from the tree actually. Probably gonna have some debris in my hair as well by the end of the stream. But it's been helping me a lot to like structure my day a little bit better, because I was kind of compulsively smoking just for the sake of smoking, and that wasn't the way that I was supposed to be smoking marijuana. So I am happy that I've started implementing the 420 rule. Are you going to dance again today? Probably not, friend. I dance in the mornings for exercise, and then I do pull-ups in the evening for more exercise. Maybe I should do a pull-up stream. Who knows? I don't think so. Streaming, well, maybe I could. I still want to do a stream where I'll show you my little box of rocks, actually. But I'll get to that when I get to that. Destroys the trichomes. It might destroy the trichomes, yeah. But then again, the trichomes are only little chemical bubbles, dude, made of tetrahydrocannabinol. So as long as it stays in your bud and it stays in your joint, it doesn't really get destroyed. Just transformed, right? What time are you streaming? I think Gare Bear streams just before I stream, actually. Or he did just before I streamed. And he streamed as well during his lunch break, which was like 3 AM US time or something like that. It's ridiculous. I wonder if you got any viewers during that one as well. You told me it was only like a 10-minute stream, right? Hello, feller. Hello, feller, to you as well. Looking happy? I am happy, friend. Thank you. About an hour ago it started. Yeah. Oh damn, I wouldn't be able to catch your streams. It's too early for me. Yeah, it's very early. I was about to say, actually. I'm curious if there are any regional dishes you could share with me. I have found a passion for cooking, and I love exploring flavors and ingredients that are popular in other cultures. So we have this thing called bobotie, which is like very iconic to South Africa. But it's not exactly something that I particularly enjoy. And we also braai a lot, and we do like braai broodjies. It's like little sandwiches with tomato and onion and cheese, and you kind of cook it over a fire, and it makes the bread very crispy, and it's very good. It's very, very good, even though I haven't had one in more than 2 years, actually. I haven't had one since I came back to South Africa as well. Absolutely unacceptable, but I'm also ketoing now, so I guess I really I can't actually. Other than that, I don't really know what to tell you, Naomi. Like, I think yeah, I really don't know. I'm so sorry. Naomi, sorry, Naomi, not Naomi, Naomi. It is like I'm a little bit of a a recluse, I guess I could say, when it comes to food these days. Only eating a very limited few. Also stuffing my joint of a thorn today. I feel like it's kind of symbolic in a way, because even though this thing can cause me a lot of pain, it can also teach me something, right? Show me something. Where are you at in the world? I'm in South Africa, friend. Discipline equals freedom. Yes. Exactly. Discipline and taking responsibility for, or exercising discipline over your own mind, your own thoughts, your own actions is also something that's very important. It's something that we kind of neglect, and it's very easy to get off track. So it's important to realize how much power we have over that. Can you blow smoke into the camera? I don't usually, but I guess I could if I wanted to. Transform my mind, baby. I'll try, friend. I'll try. Our minds are extremely powerful quantum computers, basically. Billions of neurons firing to create the experience that we call now. Isn't it profound? You should be very, very, very thankful for what it is you're experiencing, friend. Where are you? South Africa, friend. I'll probably say this a bunch more times. Until enough people know that nobody will have to ask again. Roll that shit, smoke that shit. I will, friend. I'm actively rolling. But I also do take my time. I'm very patient with it. How are you today, friend? 3 days in a row, coming to see you to help me through the afternoon. Blessings. Thank you for joining me for 3 days in a row, friend. I really appreciate your presence. Thank you so much for joining us, actually, I should say. Because this is something that we're doing together. Hey, Elo. My dog just passed. Curious little lady. Listening to you while working. Please do, friend. Please do. I hope that my voice can be a calming influence on you. Bring some relaxation to your day. Give you some good vibes. You can hear the little bugs buzzing around. Birds singing their little songs. It is a beautiful day. I want to make myself aware of that, actually. More and more. Tell us what makes you happy. Human connection, friend. Human connection makes me happy. Being able to talk to people, being able to see their smiles, being able to understand their life stories, where they came from, why it is they do the things they do, the way that they eat their food, the way they hold their knife and fork, the way they interact with people. Like, we have so many ways to create in this life, and we're all part of this creation. It is beautiful. Individualized expressions of God, each one of us. That's deep, man. I'm not sure if you talked about the thing I just said, but thank you, friend. We are only as deep as the infinite ocean and how much we tap into it, right? I had a friend named Naomi and went by Now. Now pronouns now. Oh, it says now Naomi. Naomi? Very interesting, actually. Do you listen to Rodriguez? No, I do not. But a friend recently sent me one of his tracks. Feels a little bit... It's a vibe. It's definitely a vibe, but I don't listen to them. Do you listen to the Grateful Dead? I've listened to the Grateful Dead, but it's also, I feel, quite a vibe. But not the vibe that I usually prescribe to. I have heard that pronunciations were Gerber. I find locally French speakers tend to pronounce my name that way. I did tell him in the chat, I go by Naomi, and now my mother likes to make sure people say it that way. Yeah, you did. So I was aware of it. Naomi. I'll try and say it as correctly as I can, because for me it's not so much people mispronouncing my name, but if someone was to write my name, they usually exclude an A from my name, because I have 2 A's in my name, and it usually bothers me. I don't know why. It's a silly thing to get bothered by, but it usually bothers me. Thank you for the energy, and thank you for the help of the award, friend. Smoke a J for me. I will, friend. I'll smoke a J for all of us. Definitely calming and good vibes. I'm happy that you appreciate them, friend. You should do audiobooks. You have a calming voice. I've considered doing audiobooks, but I don't exactly have the ideal equipment for it. Maybe now a little bit more so, but maybe I'll do audiobooks. It's not something that I'm shying away from. When I eventually publish my own book, I do want to do my own audiobook as well, so who knows. So true, human connection is everywhere. Even business is really about human connection. Exactly. And it's almost competitive in that way as well. Like, you have to see who can make the best human connections, and then whoever gets the best human connections gets the deal, right? You radiate such a peaceful vibe. Thank you, friend. I hope that this peace that I'm experiencing can be transferred to you, and that you can tune into the vibrational frequency that I am inhibiting at the moment. It's all deep for real. Thank you. My morning smoke has also started helping me remember to eat. I guess that's also something that people tend to do. Birds are having a little bit of a jolt. Yeah, so like for me, it used to be that way as well. I almost had a hard time eating something if I didn't smoke first, and I felt like it was getting to the point where I only ate something after I smoked. So I'm very happy to not be doing that like anymore. Cook myself a good breakfast in the mornings, and then I usually go without eating until like kind of like about 6 or 7ish, and then I eat again, and then I go to sleep. I can't pin your accent down. Where are you from? I'm from South Africa, friend. No, she just went by Nao. Nao. Oh, like Nao? Nao? Her name is Naomi, but she just went by Nao. That's kind of cool. What kind of music do you like? I like all type of music, friend. But these days I've been listening to psytrance more because I have a friend that introduced me to the genre, and it's a very expressive type of music, like very good for dancing. So I really appreciate it for that reason, actually. Hippie CNN, yes. Thank you for tuning in to Hippie CNN. On today's forecast. Oh, my internet is going. I'm losing you, Melt. You're not losing me, friend. I'll be here probably forever because of the internet. And I'll be uploading these streams to YouTube as well, so you can always catch them later. I stay up all night just to hear a few minutes of your wisdom, friend. You stayed up all night just to hear a few minutes of the wisdom? Maybe. And I'm gonna encourage you to do this. Like, go to bed super early, or like at 9 or 8, and then wake up like super early so you can catch the streams. Don't have to stay up all night, but I do appreciate your presence. Thank you. Do you practice meditation? Yes, I do, friend. And some of my other hobbies include gardening. I really like gardening. It's one of my passions to work with plants, seeing growth directly and contributing to that growth as well. I like taking pictures. I like creating things, actually, just in general. Thank you for asking, friend. And meditation has become a very integral part of my daily routine. Before I go to bed, I have like this little ritual that I follow. Basically, pull some sacred geometry cards. After pulling some sacred geometry cards, I write down something that I'm grateful for within the day. And let me just scroll down a little bit. And then after I write down what I'm grateful for, I do my breathing exercises. And like 30 deep breaths, like extremely deep breaths. Fully exhale on your last breath. Hold that exhale. Breathe in, hold that inhale. Breathe out, hold that exhale. And then you try and do that for as many times as you can. And then you start the whole process over again. Thank you for the hugs, friend. Do you have neighbors nearby? No. Fortunately, we do not have any neighbors nearby. Closest neighbor is like 2 kilometers away. When people try to spell my name, it's only with 1 T, or it goes completely missed. By salutations, friend. Salutations to you as well, Matthijs. Thank you for joining me, friend. Greetings from Florida. Greetings to you as well, my friend. Thank you for the helpful, Matthijs. I've subbed to your YouTube. You have stimulated so much change for me. Thank you, friend. Thank you so much for saying that. It warms my heart to hear that. I believe that we're all capable of so much, and the vibrational frequency that we as a community is starting to inhibit, starting to like welcome almost into our lives, and what it is we're trying to do for this world is going to change this world. Matthijs today said, we won't stop until we change the world. And I agree completely with them. Matthijs, we won't stop until we change the world, friend. Where I am from, it is tradition to mix tobacco with weed. I have only met one person that smokes weed without it, and it's considered bad etiquette. It's considered bad etiquette to smoke straight weed. That's an interesting social structure you have there, friend. In my opinion, or at least where I'm from and the friend groups I have, it's almost the opposite. It's like it would be bad etiquette if you who gave me a joint that had tobacco in it. I need you saying "I'm from South Africa, friend" as a text tone. Yeah, I need to like a button. "I'm from South Africa, friend." I just have to press the button. Get all of the main questions down and just press buttons instead. I just want to say goodbye before my internet officially dies. You are all loved. Have a great stream, everyone. Thank you, Lane. Thank you for sharing your love, friend. I hope to see you a little bit later. And thank you for joining us for as long as you did, either way. You see, Matthijs as well. It's considered bad etiquette to put tobacco with weed. I don't know anyone that smokes it together. You see, so it's interesting how in different parts of the world and different friend groups and different situations we have these different etiquettes. Etiquette is such a strange thing as well. Doesn't always make that much sense, but it is something that we humans have almost forced upon ourselves in some ways. Thank you for the wholesome, Mr. Fiendish thingies. I appreciate it, friend. Beautiful view today, by the way. I'm happy you appreciate it. It's a little bit of a different angle. I'm sitting on the grass today. I felt like I needed to be a little bit more grounded for today's stream, so that's exactly what I did. Smoking is like meditation. Meditating, it can be. It definitely can be. Gary Bear's comment. Yeah, Gary Bear is a fun guy. I really like him. Thank you for the hugs, Naomi. And thank you for the silver, Gary Bear. I appreciate it, friends. Good morning, handsome, from West Virginia. Good morning to you as well, friend. Thank you for joining me again. No Mix, you're one of my long-time viewers, friend. Thank you for joining us again. Luxembourg here. Luxembourg? It is Luxembourg. For some reason, for good reason, because I don't know all of the places in the world, Luxembourg doesn't have a place in my head. I want to go look it up and see where it is now. Okay, I'm taking your advice. I will change my sleeping schedule so I can catch your streams in the morning instead of night. Have a good stream, friend. Thank you. Thank you so much, friend. I do believe it's good advice. And it's not advice that I don't follow myself. I've been waking up before 5 a.m. in the mornings for... How long has it been? Almost 20 days now. A little bit longer than 20 days. Waking up really early, getting some stuff done, and it's felt good. Especially mentally, I haven't felt as tired. Like usually I wake up and I feel kind of sluggish, and then I have to drink coffee before I'm, in the zone again. And with the whole waking up early, I was also drinking coffee in the morning because it was almost habitual and instinctive. But I also stopped drinking coffee, and it's allowed me to gain a little bit more of a stable energy source within myself. Happy to be here today. I'm happy that you're here today. His missus, I appreciate your presence. When I first started watching you, I was smoking, sorry, it went up a little bit. I was smoking a little in the morning, but now I'm not smoking until the afternoon, without thinking about smoking the rest of the day. Has kept me productive. It really does keep you productive, and I'm happy that I could influence you to change that about yourself a little bit, friend. I think it is healthy for us. I think it is good for us to do that every now and then, to allow ourselves to be productive. And like, do tell me, have you experienced that the actual smoking experience has become a little bit better since you're only smoking at the end of the day now? Because to me personally, it has actually been that way. Only way to go is up. Yes, it is. You're right, Matthijs. You have already inspired me to share my thoughts with the world. Thank you, friend. I'm happy that you're saying that. I'm happy that we can inspire each other to share, to actually be the people that we're supposed to be, Making the morning so relaxing. I'm happy, friend. Relaxation, peace, love, forgiveness. These things are what's divine. It's how God intended for us to live. We get so caught up in illusions that we set for ourselves. These misperceptions, these perceptions of what people are to us, or what they should be, or what they should be doing. And it's something that me and friends were talking about last night on our podcast. Joseph said, this thing about is it regulate? No, it's manuals, and is it regulations? Man, I should have listened more carefully. But what he said is what resonated with me. Basically, he goes into explaining that in relationships we have these manuals. So like a set list of things that someone should be for us. And if they're not that thing for us, we kind of become resentful, or we become angry because now this person isn't following this manual that we've set out for them to follow. And it's something that we do a lot in this world, because someone would not do something and then we would get angry at them for not doing the thing that we expected of them to do. And it's a personal problem. It's something that you get caught up in. It's an illusion that you set for yourself, unfortunately. How do we find you on YouTube? Meltmore, friend. If you search Meltmore on the YouTube search engine, you should be able to find me. Do consider subscribing. We're trying to reach 1,000 subs by the end of the year. And we've already reached 400, and I think it's 31 today. Isn't that crazy? Yo. It's absolutely mind-boggling to imagine how fast we're growing as a community, and how much love you have to share with me. I really appreciate every single one of you. You're from down there, or did you move there for the good vibes? I'm from down here, friend. I was born and raised here. My friend. Finnish thingies, my friend. You know Finnish thingies? Gonna have some chats in the chat, I guess. Ever try to smoke and meditate at the same time? I want to get into meditation, and if that's a good way to start. It's actually something that I do, so I do. I'll stop being a child. So basically, since I rarely finish these joints on the stream, I should eventually light it. I'll light it directly after this. So since I don't finish these direct in the stream, I usually finish it just before I go and do my meditation and my card pulling and my grateful note. So yes, you have to answer your question very simply. Definitely, you definitely can smoke and meditate at the same time. So me and Matthijs had a chat today, and he basically suggested that I should set my intent today to melt away negativity. So that's exactly what I'm going to do with smoking this. Every puff I'm going to take in is going to melt away all of the negativity, and it's going to be absorbed back into the earth, because Mother Earth only wants to heal me and take care of me. So, for melting away negativity. Patais, it's a great way, makes you more aware of yourself. It does. It makes you very, very aware of yourself. And thank you, Patais, or Matthijs, for sharing the YouTube link as well, or the YouTube name as well. I've been watching your streams for a long time, even back when you used Reddit under another name. Thank you. I still have the Betelgeuse name on this account, because it was a karma thing for me to be able to stream, unfortunately. But I do appreciate your presence, dude. You have been here for a long time. I remember you, No Mix. Thank you for being back. Thank you for joining us again, friend. I appreciate your presence. Curious to know what you do for work? I'm a creator, friend. In every moment, in my entire existence, in the pure divine image that I was created, I am a creator. If you're asking what I do to make money, I'm not making any money at the moment, friend. And I'm probably not going to be making any money for a while longer. and that's okay. Because I've realized within myself that I've had a very obsessive nature about money. I went to China to make money. I left my home directly after high school to go and make money. And it was very destructive in my life. It was like the only thing I could think about. It was the only thing that could make me happy. And I'm very happy to be over that part of my life where I had such an obsession with money. And the problem with money as well is no amount of money is going to make you happy. Because you're going to make, like, let's say for example, you think you'll be happy if you have $1 million. The problem with numbers is that numbers can't make you happy. Numbers will never make you happy. Like, you can't look at X amount of numbers in your bank account and be like, okay, now I have this happiness that I've been craving. Because the problem is, money is also like a dopamine feedback system. And dopamine kind of has this way of almost being like a finish line. It keeps getting set. Like, you want to do something, or you think something has value for you, and then you like kind of set like this mini finish line in your head, and then you pursue that thing and you get dopamine from it because you're pursuing this finish line. Or maybe you reach the finish line by, for example, finishing making your bed or finishing a project or whatever, and you get dopamine from that. But when it comes to money, like, it's never finished. Like, there's no amount, there's no number that you're gonna be like, okay, now I have enough, now I don't want any more money. Because if you become obsessed with money, that number is just going to keep growing and keep growing, and you're going, that finish line, that dopamine finish line, is just going to keep getting extended further and further. And it's destructive. It's not good for your soul. Gary Bear, I will try it, and the next time I meditate. Try it, but Amateis. I think it'll be something you enjoy, actually. Smoking only 1 J at 420? Yes, friend. Basically only smoking 1 J the whole day. You have inspired me so much. I just turned 50, and as a woman, it was terrible turning the big 50. 50 is still young in the age that we're living in right now. You still have 50 more years to live. So imagine how long your life has been and how much you've experienced. Now imagine how amazing the rest of the experience you still are to have is going to be. I think it's going to be beautiful for you. I hope it's beautiful for you. Thank you for joining me. As always, I appreciate your presence. The benefit of smoking has been much better, and I don't need nearly as much. Makes me appreciate the plant more. Yes, exactly. It did the exact same thing for me as well, friend. And I'm very grateful for that. Gives me a lot of, I think, clarity in my consumption. What you drinking there, friend? I'm drinking some H2O, friend. Some water. Nice and cold water. And the good stuff. Card pulling? Yes, no mix. I have a deck of sacred geometry cards. So basically the idea behind sacred geometry is that our universe kind of follows these mathematical rules. And then when you express those mathematical rules onto a 2D plane, it becomes like sacred geometry. And the idea of these cards, like, all of them have these absolutely amazing works of art on. And these amazing works of art have sacred geometry embedded within them. So then you pick cards and you pick different pieces of sacred geometry, and then you can extrapolate information out of that if you want to, or you can just look at the pretty cards and see how it makes you feel. I love your hair. Thank you, friend. It grows this way out of my head. Melt more, frequently asked questions. Where are you from? What you smoking? What you drinking? Are you Thor? Yes. I should have it on the website. Are you Thor? No. I'm legally I'm legally supposed to say no, I'm not Thor. Otherwise Disney will sue me. That's a huge blunt. It's not that big anymore, friend. It's been chipping away at slowly. Get Scare Bear. I feel like this idea for having buttons with the responses is great. I probably won't want to do that because I would be taking away from the, in my opinion, direct contact that I have with all of you. Oh, my water just fell over. It's okay. So it would take away from the direct contact with me, and it would be a little bit impersonal pressing buttons. I like the idea. Maybe when I live the stream up or something like the Twitch stream, then it would make a little bit more sense. But for right now, I feel like the closeness that we have of each other is what's most important. Fortunately, I had the exact amount to top my glass back up. Perfect. Everything is perfect. Now I'm just gonna be cautious of not pushing it over again. Would be funny for someone to say they've been following you before YouTube and Reddit. It might be funny to you, but it would be scary to me, dude. I'd be looking around. How long have they been following me? How can you afford weed with no money? I want your secrets. So, water is free if you pump it from the ground, and the soil just like grows things for free. Don't have to put money into it or anything. So you take a seed, pop it in the ground, give it water, and then it makes weed for you, dude. It's lit. Thank you, Mother Earth, for making weed for me. You remember me this time? Of course! Nathan O. I do remember you, friend. It's been a while since you've been in a stream, actually. Or maybe it's not been that long and I didn't read your name the previous time. 100% agree about the money part. That's why it's better to do a good job, like save and invest. Exactly. Like saving is something that's very important. Unfortunately, debt has become a big thing in our current society, our current way of living. And like as soon as people turn 18, they get themselves credit cards and stuff. And for the first time ever, they technically have money, right? And then they become completely intoxicated with that idea, and they overindulge. They lose their minds basically, and it becomes very destructive. And it's the way it's supposed to be. Like that's exactly what they want people to do, because then suddenly, now you are forced to work. Like you have to have a job because you have to pay this like bill, or you have to pay your credit back. And you literally make yourself a slave to a system. And it makes me so sad that they're empowering people to do this to themselves. And the schools aren't teaching kids how to not do that to themselves. Money has become such a taboo subject in our society these days that like employees aren't supposed to discuss their salaries with each other. Kids don't talk to their parents about money. And then we're also not taught anything about money in school other than how to count, which isn't really that relevant when it comes to spending money and knowing how to use your money. It's probably one of the more relevant parts actually, but it's not in its own like solely that relevant. So unfortunately, like people aren't taught how to use money, and then when you have all of this expendable money, because credit you can just keep going with, and it's not technically your money that you're spending future money, I guess, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, people should start doing that. They're making themselves slaves. For as long as you have to pay that bill, you're basically obligated to have a job, because you have to pay that back. Otherwise you just extend the amount of time that you have to pay that thing back for, and it just grows as well. That's the worst part about it. If it was just like, okay, spend this money and then pay us back when you can, no. It's like, oh wait, now we're gonna like ask you money for every single month that you don't pay us this money. And it's like, oh wait, now I'm paying money on top of my money. Money, yo. It's not something that I particularly enjoy about this life. I think it's the most mundane thing of this life. But it's an energy exchange. That's technically what money is. Like, you're giving energy and then you're receiving payment for that, right? That's literally what money is. So then you're giving that energy back in some way. Ideally, we would have all of the things that we need taken care of, like our housing and our food, and we don't have to worry about money for something like that. And then we can spend our energy earning an income, if we feel to do so, doing something that we actually love doing. Being able to be creative, to be a creator, without worrying about getting paid or affording living. Literally surviving, eating food and having a place over your head. So yeah, unfortunately, that's not the reality yet, but I say yet with a reason. Yeah. We're gonna change the world. Oh yeah, we're gonna change the world. And we won't stop until we change the world. I didn't know you had a YouTube channel. I will definitely look it up. Thank you very much, NoMix. Meltmore. I appreciate the support. Money makes you greedy. It becomes obsessive, that's the thing. Green bills helps us buy green stuff. I know, friend, but like, I just went into a rant about that. Money can buy guns, ATVs, cars, booze, badass houses, and guns. Seems you like the guns, Jeff. It's true. As I said, friend, like, it's nice to have things, and if you wanted to, you can still work harder and like put in extra energy so that you can earn more of that energy exchange, and then buy yourself guns and ATVs and cars and booze and badass houses if you want to. That is in your divine will if you choose it. I haven't followed him that long. Not that long. Not really. Most of my friends went to places like London and New York City for the promise of money, but they live in super small apartments and barely save anything, hoping that they'll make serious money in several years. It's something that I saw in China as well, unfortunately. People did the exact same thing, and it was so bad that if you wanted to stay in a city as well, not just work in a city, you had to like basically ask permission from the police, and you also sometimes had to get married to, like, if you're a woman and you want to work in a certain city or a certain district more so, you had to get married to someone living in that district to move to that district. And I had co-workers that were in such sad, well, in my opinion, they looked sad, and they were talking about how unhappy they were in their relationships because of the situation. Like, they didn't marry them because they loved them genuinely. It was almost like a social contract that they had to go into to live the way that they wanted to live. And in the exact same way, move to the city in hopes that they'll make a big salary someday, but also barely saving anything and living in a tiny apartment. And it's a trap. It's an absolute trap. Being broke makes you depressed. That shit is real bad for your soul, friend. So I kind of broke myself by choice, and like, let me give you a little bit of a background. So I spend most of the money that I made in China on building myself a computer so that I can do the things that I want to do. And then a friend of mine posted a work of art that he painted, and I had a very round number in my bank account, and I offered that entire round number to my friend for his painting, and he said yes. So yes, I broke myself, but for a reason, because I truly believe in this friend of mine. Undeniably, undoubtedly, wholly, I believe in this person. And I wanted him to know that. And it was an energy exchange. I gave the energy that I spent in China for the energy he spent that year painting that painting. And it's a perfect energy exchange. And I would never take it back. And I'm happy to be broke at the moment. Broke and poor is not the same. Exactly. They both suck. They can both suck. Not necessarily. I know people who are dirt poor and they're happier than most people. Yes. Thank you, Matthijs. You are right. Thanks for the life advice, Stoner. Gratitude. You are lucky. My name is not Stoner, friend. My name is Meltmore. Like, I'll forgive you this time. Next time you'll get it right. My life expectancy have been dull. How can I fix this and make my life brighter? Well, for one, sleep well. Like, that's rule number one. Sleep well, then drink enough water, then eat healthy food or cook for yourself. If you can't eat healthy food, at least cook for yourself, because you're putting energy into that food as well. Then try to do exercise. If you don't like going to the gym, dance at home. Put some music on and dance, or do squats to the rhythm. Lift your arms. Just move your body, because your body likes moving. We are built for short-term stress, not long-term stress. We these days subject ourselves to long-term stress and not short-term stressors. You understand what I'm saying? We postpone to be comfortable right now instead of utilizing the right now to stress ourselves, so that we don't have to worry about the coming future that we are postponing. Okay. I'm sure that makes sense. I would love to learn how to meditate and take better care of myself mentally as physically. It is fortunately a very information dense age. So I think if you wanted to, there's definitely resources on the internet to help you with that. And I hope to also share as much good information as I can during these streams. Is this your first live? No, friend. No. Oh, definitely not. We live all as the millions, billions, trillions, gazillions, however many numbers you wanna, how many zeros you wanna add to it. Like, we are the divine mind of God, separated from it, to think of ourselves as separate. But just as a drop comes out of the water and then falls back into it, it never really separates. It's still the same source, the same water. So, much more than my first life, friend. Were you the guy dancing with the red shirt or pants earlier? Yes, friend. That was me. That was me exercising. Getting a little bit of dopamine, some endorphins, some testosterone, some growth hormone as well. Flowing through my body, dude. Natural drugs. Your body produces them. I grew up very poor and now I make decent money. As I look back on my life, I never had a real reason to be upset. I gave the situation more power over me by not wanting to accept the situation or be grateful for what I did have. Well, Gary Bear, I understand exactly what you mean, but I also believe that the way that you felt about that situation led to the situation that you're in right now. So yes, sometimes we have negative emotions, but negative emotions in ourselves, we can try and switch that negative emotion like around. So instead of worrying about being broke in the future, like the initial response is, oh, I'm worried I'll be broke in the future. Then instead of just being worried about being broke in the future, you can switch that intent and tell yourself, what can I do not to be broke in the future? And then that mindset and that process and that energetically exchanged thing that happens in your head basically becomes your existence and your reality and what it is you're experiencing at the moment. Like ley lines and other places on earth, where are a lot of places where the geometry can affect people spiritually, mentally, and physically. I do believe that, but it's very interesting. I haven't actually looked into that much, or if I'm on one of those ley lines, or if I've been on one of those ley lines, but now I'm pretty like curious about it as well. It's okay, Mother Earth was thirsty. Yes, she was, and she had a sip of water, giving the nectar of life back to Mother Nature. Yes, she's given onto me, so it's definitely good for me to give back as well. Give me a hug before it's too late, man. Come, friend. Like, I'm gonna keep inviting you. I really hope to meet you actually one day, so I can finally give you that hug that you've been asking for so many times. And I think it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a very good hug. Autocorrected Mother Nature, but Mother Earth and Nature could be considered the same. Yeah, they could, definitely. I would love to have more energy to do things. Ooh. They just went and set a little wasp on my little tripod. It's a very beautiful one, actually. It's kind of orangish. Anyway, I would love to have more energy to do things. I have been trying to learn to meditate. I'm also looking into dreaming. So this is going to be a little bit of a controversial suggestion. Look into fasting as well. Yeah, fasting is also some good stuff. Thank you for the helpful friend. Lovely voice, thank you. I'm happy that it has a soothing effect on you if it does, friend. Good point on the credit card. Don't like it. Credit can be good if you use it to purchase good investments. So true. It's incredibly, nobody teaches you about money. It's insane. I've met incredible people who have very good paying jobs, but they are unhappy, I guess. Did not invest a single penny. Oh, did not. Oof. Yeah, that's not good. And they are content because they're like, oh, I have what I need right now, and it comes back to not being taught about money. My stream just dropped. So I guess this is where we're going to end it today. A little bit of a shorter one again. Thank you so much for joining me. I want to leave you with a message, and I think my message is going to be one of melting away negativity. We get so clouded by negativity sometimes, and we should just realize that we have power over that. We're so much more than we sometimes tell ourselves we are. I love you so much. Thank you so much for watching, if you've watched to this point, and I'll hope to see you tomorrow.